This video is on the objective find the dot product of two vectors. And this is the second video on this objective. I hope that you have seen the first one. I'm not going to go into as much explanation as I did in the first video. Just going to get right to it and work the problem. Again, if you want to see more about the topic, click on More Instruction. Look at their videos, their notes, their examples, and hopefully those help you. Alright, so here we're given two vectors, right? Vector u is 5i plus 8j, right? Right 5, up 8. V is 6i minus 6j, which would be right 6, down 6. We're asked to take these two vectors and find what's called their dot product, right? U dot v. Remember, this will be just a number. Right? The dot product of two vectors is a scalar, a number, not a vector. Alright, so I'm going to go to some paper here and we'll write this information we're given out. Now I'm going to write it in component form, right, the standard form with the wedges. So vector u, right, they said it was 5i plus 8j. So components are 5 and 8, right, like that. And vector v, they said was 6i minus 6j. So positive 6 times I minus 6 times j. There's the components of vector v. Now the dot product, again, is very simple. U dot v. To do the dot product of two vectors, you just multiply the corresponding components and then add those products, right? So I multiply the first components, 5 times 6, and then add to that the product of the second components, 8 and negative 6. Right, so 5 times 6 is 30, 8 times 6 is negative 48, and add these up, that's negative 18. And this is all they want. Right, just enter a number. Now, this is something I mentioned in the first video, and it's not something that they're really bringing up, but I wanted to point it out. Notice the dot product of these two vectors is negative. Right, that is a negative number. And if you recall from the first video on this objective, that means the angle between these vectors will be obtuse. Alright, remember the last video, it was positive and it was acute. If the dot product is negative, the angle will be obtuse. And if the dot product is 0, you'll have a 90-degree angle. The vectors will be perpendicular if you draw them from the same initial point. So let me show you here. I'm going to do my best to make this look reasonably good. So u is, I'm going to have both of these start from the origin. So u is 5, 8. So right 5, up 8. So here's vector u. Alright, then vector v is 6, negative 6. And here's vector v. Look at the angle between them. Now, when I say the angle between them, I mean the non-reflex angle, the smaller of the two. I know there's this big angle that's called a reflex angle. Angle is bigger than 180. This angle here. Maybe if I turn it this way, you can tell when I make V horizontal, you can tell this is an obtuse angle. And that's going to happen. Right? That's going to happen whenever the dot product of two vectors is negative. The angle between them will be obtuse. And when again, one more time, when the dot product is positive, and you draw them with the same initial point, the angle between them will be acute. And when the dot product is 0, the angle between them will be right, 90 degrees. Okay, and that's all. Alright, so let me go back and enter our dot product, right? It was negative 18. We're just asked to enter a number here, right? Minus 18. Submit. Hooray. And there, right? So that's, again, all you're asked to do is find the number, right? You're not asked about acute angles or obtuse angles. Again, that's just something I wanted to throw in there to give you extra reasoning as to maybe, well, what's part of the reason why we're learning about this dot product thing. Right. Okay, so hopefully watching me do this, reading the more instruction when you need to, reading the answer explanations when they show up. Hoping all this stuff helps you out when you're working on this material on your own. And thank you very much for watching.